Welcome back to America's Retirement Headquarters, the home of the Retirement Guys formula and America's Medicare Associates with Nolan Baker and Scott Kirshner. 419-794-3030 is the phone number. That's 419-794-3030. The website, arhq.com. If you missed the first half of the show or previous editions of the show and you want to catch up, all available via podcast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, on YouTube, wherever you consume your media. Just search for America's Retirement Headquarters. It is there for you to check out at your own pace. It is being called the Silver Tsunami and Peak 65. This year, more than 12,000 people will turn 65 each day, which, factoring in, it is leap year after all. It's got a total to a little less than 4.5 million by 2025. But Elizabeth O'Brien from Barron's tells CBS News age 65 doesn't have to be viewed as a deadline.
If you love what you do, there is no reason to stop at 65. You know, there are financial benefits and cognitive benefits for continuing to work. So I would say absolutely keep working. Now, maybe you've had enough. Maybe you're ready to retire, but you still want to do something. There's a lot to be said for downshifting into a part-time job.
So there's two different schools of thought there. Work as long as you can, or if you have the money to retire, why delay that? How do you help clients with that decision?
You know, this is a big discussion that I deal with almost daily when I meet with clients. You know, and I've seen this really change over the years. If you think back 20 years ago, what happened when you turned 65, right? You had your 65th birthday, you signed up for Social Security, you signed up for Medicare, and you retire. I mean, those are just things that just happened. It was like an assumed that's going to happen. You know, you fast forward, 20 years in the future, and here we are today. I'm not seeing that like I did in even 5 years ago. I see a lot more people working past 65. You know, that number of 12,000, just a few years ago, that was 10,000 people every day. And that's why I really decided to team up with Nolan and start America's Medicare Associates to help those people, turning 65. If you decide that you're going to actually sign up for Medicare and retire, I wanted to help you understand how that works. But I'm seeing that extend past 65 a lot more now. People are working up to 70 more regularly now than before. And, I've always said, for me personally, I love what I do. I'm not out in the elements. I'm not out where I'm beating my body up. I'm helping people. I come in and I enjoy what I do. I go home and I, have a big smile on my face. And I say, man, I just love what I do. And my wife looks at me and says, are you nuts, right? Well, I'm enjoying it. I have no reason to retire at this point. And it's not necessarily, the money or things like that. It's just, what am I going to do, right? I don't want to retire and sit there and do nothing. So, one of the things that we help them with is make that decision a little more clearer for them. We give them examples on what you can expect with your health care, what you can expect with Medicare, what you can expect with your retirement funds, right? I mean, that's what we do. That's why we help people kind of clear that fog a little bit about entering into retirement.
Yeah, when I think about it, I think people want to know, how do I know when it's time to retire? And, when we look at it, I think there's some significant value that we can help you answer that question. So when we go through this, number one is on my side, we're looking at the financial readiness. So, what we're going to do is we're going to evaluate your retirement savings and investments. We're going to take a look at, do those nest egg that you have built up, are they going to be able to support the desired lifestyle that you have in retirement time? We're going to take you through a planning process where we're going to be able to go in and we're going to be able to tell you the probability of being able to meet your goals and or share ideas with you that increase your probability of success to make sure that you're, confident to not only get to retirement, but you got to get through retirement, which can last an awful long time. And that's a big part of where the financial readiness comes into play. The second one that's been a big observation of mine over the past 30 years, if I look at people that are out there traveling, having a lot of fun, doing a lot of things, is they have their debt situation under control. So it's a good goal to aim to try to eliminate any debts that you have before your retirement time. Things like paying off your mortgage, credit cards, any outstanding loans that you have. That burden of debt can really drag on you in retirement time. So it's, to me, I'm looking at the hundreds of families that I've helped out with. It makes a big decision. the decision is number 3 is looking at the health and wellness. So we had talked about on a previous show the fact I think 40% of people end up going to retirement early because of a healthcare related issue between either them or their spouse. I had met with a couple just the other day, and what he had talked about, Dave talked about the fact that he wanted and felt like he was forced to work for another 3 years to get to Medicare age because of what the healthcare cost was going to be. But we were able to get together with him and show him, based upon his withdrawal plan, how to get his countable income to be significantly lower to ultimately allow him to retire now, not have to work another 3 years. But he had felt that he had to do that because of the healthcare costs. But that, and also that going back to that avenue of an unexpected healthcare crisis can sneak into your family and force you to retire much earlier than you thought. Number 4 is lifestyles and your goals. You talked about how much you love coming in and helping families, and so do I. The question becomes, if you won't work, and what would you be doing? So whether that's you and Wendy, maybe spending more time traveling, going and seeing the kids at different events that they have, making sure that you have some of those defined retirement goals in place. Helps you allow to figure out what to do. Considering different activities or hobbies that you can be involved in. I know I'm very actively involved in Hooves. And, with that organization, we thrive on an army of volunteers. We have a lot of retirees that, add time and talent to our team to help out. And that's another way that helps them stay involved, because number 5 is you have to keep that social and emotional readiness in. So, you just don't sit on the porch and watch life go by.
Exactly.
I have seen a lot of times when people get socially isolated that a lot of deterioration can happen. So, it's a matter of figuring out how to be plugged in, how to be involved, looking to make sure that emotionally you're going to stay healthy in retirement time too. You've got to assess, what the market conditions are. Right now the market is at an all-time record high. So you could consider taking and shifting money from, the economic uncertainty of the stock and bond market and put it into things that provide more protected income. That would help you then try to eliminate some of the issues of, I'm worried about retiring and all of a sudden the stock market crashes. Take advantage of where things are at today. Take advantage of putting those things in place. And sometimes even in this situation, knowing whether to retire or not, some companies even allow you to do kind of a test drive, right?
Sure, absolutely.
If you build up time for time off, talk to your employer. Maybe that's an opportunity. So if you want to know, is now the time I'm ready to retire, Nolan, I want to know, what is my financial readiness? And I want to walk through that, and I want to see, is this the year that we can make that happen? Give us a call. We'll put together an independent portfolio analysis for you and talk to you about your retirement readiness.
During that independent portfolio analysis, you may find out that you are, in fact, good to go. You're ready to retire, and you can do it on your terms as soon as you like. You may also find out that there is some work that needs to be done, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. By knowing what the steps are, you can get closer and closer to that retirement that you envisioned. It all starts with that independent portfolio analysis, sitting down, speaking with the team at America's Retirement Headquarters. 419-794-3030 is how you get started. You can also go to the website as well, and that is arhq.com.